Hey, have you been through tough experiences? Is life getting harder? Are you furious? Are you disillusioned, motivated, or feeling delirious? Or is life just mysterious? Whatever it is, stay tuned in.
Hey comrades, hope you're all well. You hope you made it through this week without any serious struggles. I'm hoping only goodness and positive vibes has come your way this week. I'd like to welcome you to another session of the Unified Diaries Podcast, the podcast where I check in with you midweek to discuss good things and bad things you may experience in life. Work, problems, issues, successes, wins, but truly different things that affect us in our society, in our lives, both in a positive and negative way. In life, we all go through experiences, and that's where I come in to discuss things I've seen, may have been through, or even things that you may possibly be going through or currently facing in your own way. I'm Mike Versal, and on this episode I'll be covering envy and hatred. And throughout the episode, I'll be playing a few scripted scene clips to sort of get you in the vibe to understand what's really going on. So please stay tuned in. I hope I'll inspire you for better weeks ahead. And remember, I'm here for you. Thanks for listening. Let's get started. Versal was a truly astonishing football player. This year, two of his mates, including himself, were nominated for the Outstanding Player Award. The award ceremony will be exceptionally monumental indeed, even attended by the town's own mayor. At the ceremony, the room was vibrant, filled with family, friends, and the football board. It was time. Versal wanted the award so desperately, he made so many prayers. He waited. And this year's award goes to Daniel Cole. Versal was gobsmacked, dumbfounded, and extremely upset. He couldn't even congratulate his own comrade, his actual best pal, who had just won. He decided he'd have to get out of there. His upsetness made him sweat. When all his friends rushed to congratulate Daniel, instead he left. He was gone. Man, forget this bull. Versal's phone had been ringing multiple times. He avoided all his mates' calls, even his own dime. He was upset, ashamed. His envy was sublime. He finally notices his dad calling, picks up and starts to rhyme.
What is it, Dad? Why you calling right now? We both know it's a feast. I can't accept this. How? I'm not jealous. There's no way Dan should have won. I should have been me. Huh? What you mean I'm wrong? I scored 17 goals. He's only scored 15. Yeah, it's close. And so what if he's got more assists than me? Why are you calling if you're not on my side? You know what? Whatever. Don't call me. Bye-bye.
So, what's your take on envy and hatred?
Well, envy and hatred is a combined feeling we feel towards others. You can be jealous of someone, which is something that's extremely common in every single person. As human beings, we're always striving to be the best version of ourselves and simply want to do it as well as we possibly can and as well as someone else. And at times, we wish it was us in their shoes doing those amazing things we dream of. However, envy is a deep-rooted feeling that's built up, as has been bubbling up for some time, and it changes how we feel towards another human being so negatively and so drastically that we end up hating them for no fair reason. But really and truly, it's a reflection on ourselves. We tend to envy and hate people when it's on us. We're the actual loser. You really have something going on in your life that's making you bitter? Let's just face it, you're a loser and a straight up moron. If you cannot find it in you to commemorate other people's successes, then it's time to get some help, or really ask yourself, am I where I am because life's unfair? Or is it just me, and do I need to change my attitude?
So, is it attitude?
I strongly believe that it's a big mix. A big part of being envious of someone else is intrinsic. We can say it's science because 99% of the time, deep down, you cannot understand or don't know why it really is that you're jealous or seriously envious of someone else. Of course you know it's because you want to be like them. You want a piece of their illustrious life or success, or would like to reach their goals. But why is it really that you have that feeling where you wish bad things on them? This is the interesting bit where the attitude side of things comes in, right? So let's not lie to ourselves and deny it. Each one of us has been jealous of someone else. Fact. There is no human being that hasn't had that feeling before. And if you have been jealous of someone else, and if you truly cared about the subject matter you were jealous about, at this point, it becomes envy, because you cannot understand why you still haven't achieved or reached that specific thing you're jealous of, which keeps being thrown about in your face. You might not have envy and hate at the same time for no reason, but let's face it, there's always someone in your life or social circle that's envious of someone that they speak about and hate their guts. And if you hadn't noticed this, then the next time any of your friends is discussing someone else with so much passion in a negative way, ask yourself why that is. Why are they spending so much time and energy belittling them or trying to bring them down? The attitude is where you can control, and it's the biggest problem. If you're envious of someone else and it's really bugging you or bringing you down, accept it. Face the fact and actually go and figure it out. Figure out a way to speak to them and ask them for advice or help. Stop lying to yourself. See, that's the problem. The problem with human beings is we love hiding behind excuses. It gives us that imaginary false sense of security or feeling that we can do better. It's just this or that. This is why we end up escalating jealousy to envy, and hatred. We actually hate ourselves and hate our life so much, but we aren't prepared to do anything about it.
Any past experiences or examples?
Yeah, I remember once when I was in high school, I admitted to one of my pals how amazing he was at the computer game Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Man, I was jealous. He had it on PC and we used to play it. And we played several times, and this was on the keyboard. You know, we didn't have any joypads or any controllers, nothing like that. But the dude could still pull off all these mad Benihana's tricks. You know, as dope as it was just amazing, which I couldn't do. Then I couldn't stand him. I started hating on him. I didn't want to be around him anymore. But as time passed, even though I was really jealous of him, I admitted it to him and I told him. For some reason, it just came out. It was one of those moments. And I was like, what have I just done here? What have I just said here? This is going to go so wrong. He's going to think I'm some sort of loser guy, like I'm a sore loser. But in actual fact, he praised me and he respected me for saying this and admitting it. And he was like, I'm going to teach you some tricks, and he gave me a few timing tips, which you would only understand if you were actually a skater, in real, like, you go skateboarding and stuff like he was, because I was a footy guy. So like, he told me like it's all about the timing and things, and I was like, dude, thanks. So at an early age, I realized it was okay to be jealous and okay to be honest about it. And that's why I don't envy and hate anyone, because life's too short for such nonsense, man. Just like, be real about it and it's all good.
Is it simple to confess?
Absolutely not. Most people I know aren't very good with being open, even about their feelings or admitting things that are blatantly happening in front of them, but rather pretend it's all good. For example, I recall, even one of my teachers back in school, back in the day, and he was taking credit for some advice one of my classmates, one of my friends had given him. And the guy was acting like these were all his ideas, the teacher. From what I recall, it was a new idea of teaching us, instead of just simply hosting the class and speaking the whole lesson while we listened, got bored and dozed off. It'd be a better idea to actually put us in small, different groups. Of course, this isn't groundbreaking and off the charts like a new discovery, but back then, this was an idea that could actually change things. Because firstly, it brought a new approach to things. a new approach to teaching, us and as a group. It will give us fresher ways of thinking. And I was never a big fan of science lessons anyway. It could actually improve my focus levels with this new style. As interactions keep you on your feet, putting us in small groups for the time being. But the point here is, my mate got no credit whatsoever. And I also remember that the teacher wasn't the biggest fan of him, but I never understood why. But years later, it started making sense. At least this is what I thought. The student back then was funny. It was pretty popular. It was the guy. And it was always the guy that made the room light up. And it kind of rubbed the teacher the wrong way. Now most would say, yeah, right. You really think he was envious of this guy? And that's not envy. And how could someone in their 40s, reaching their 50s, be jealous of someone who's in their teenage years? Like, really? But trust me, this was the case. And I remember my mate was even so close to being kicked out of the class so many times for just making silly jokes or just any little thing. And then I always remember others getting away for jokes that were sometimes even worse, but the teacher would let it slip. So you see, if let alone a mature person in his 40s, 50s, can't even admit their envious ways and can behave in such a way, then what hope do we have in having anyone in younger age groups or anything like that confessing their envy? And this is why I personally believe society is kind of messed up. And by that, you know exactly what I mean. The majority of the decisions we make are based on emotion. And how do I know this? Well, look at the world right now. Things aren't going so well, and some decisions that should be obvious decisions aren't the obvious ones being made, and these are steered by our emotions. Bilal gets home, takes a shower, and starts mumbling to himself. His stomach starts grumbling, but decides to make a call.
Já não quero jogar a bola. I play no more. I leave team.
What do you mean?
I play all my life and Daniel killed my dream?
No. See, that's the wrong attitude.
Porra, vaya merda.
Hey, you're being rude.
No, I meant I'm done.
Okay, are you gonna be like me and just run?
You? You almost become pro?
Yes, I did.
When?
When I was younger, I failed 2 trials. On the 3rd trial, I didn't go. I gave up for a while. I was envious of my mates. They were better, of course. But I kept lying to myself. Then I admitted all sorts. And I admitted them for being better, but I was too late. The following year, the scouts saw me at the gate. They said I was tipped to win the best player.
Oh, seriously?
What just happened there?
Well, human beings are fragile. We are all fragile. Deep down, we are all sad. Sad people who long happiness. And we cling on to things that make us smile and make it worthwhile. Why do you think we're envious of others? Really? Why do you think negativity finds a way to creep into our thoughts and anger bottles up real quick? That's because we can easily be influenced. Look at Paulo's example. None of what his coach said during the call really mattered to him until the coach confessed he had also been through the same failure and anger. Is it true? Whether that's true or not, we don't know. And not only that, he also admits how he had also had envy towards his teammates back in his playing days. So if it wasn't for just that simple sentence, Paulo probably would have hanged up or told him to do one. And what good would have come from that? Paulo would have really quit his football team, would have carried on being a sore loser, probably even a greater loser now, even worse, a super duper hater, and probably would have kept being envious of anyone successful because success never came to him, right? Now, whether he chooses to channel that positive energy given by his coach and remains in the team and carries on playing, learning from his teammates, asking his teammates for a bit more advice to sharpen up his skills and what to look out for, maybe only then he can make it pro and actually be a better person in life in general.
What should people do in the future?
Well, these are some of my options. You can keep hating. Number one, you can keep being envious and hate all you want. The fact remains, it will get you nowhere. At what point do you think trying to bring down others is a justifiable reason to be seen as someone others want to be like? In everyday life, we are all role models, whether you like it or not. So if your ideology of a role model is to be hating on others, then go on. That's on you. I wish you the best of luck. Generally, these are the carcasses in life. These are the people who are simply lazy, chasing their dreams, want everything given to them, and don't want to put in any effort, but will channel their energy on trolling others and be so vindictive they get hyped by the same type of people as them, which keeps them on going and going and going. That could be you. Your second option, don't admit, but support. I know it's not easy to admit you're jealous of someone else or what they're doing, or you're actually envious of them to the core. For those faint-hearted that struggle with confidence or don't want this to backfire on their friendship or relationship with someone, for those who don't want to risk it at all, I say this is the best approach because it's the safest approach, to be fair. Listen, it's okay to be envious of your friends or people you know or follow, but instead of hating on them, reach out to them, support them, and trust me when I tell you this, they will give you back the same love you're throwing their way. That's for sure. Human beings, we feed on support. It's human nature to give back positivity. It's easier to give back positivity than negativity because there's no harm or any possible regrets attached to giving back positivity. So if you like something you see, show the support and see if you can get the advice on how to go about it or what you must do to reach those admirable goals. Well, and finally, you can admit and embrace. Personally, this is my favorite option. And the only reason why is because I went through my fair bit of envy at an early stage, which passed quite quickly, thankfully, because something in me gave me the courage to get it out and confront my demons. The reason I personally believe this is the best form is for the simple reason that people appreciate deep-rooted honesty. It's never easy to admit this sort of thing to anyone. It's unimaginable. Hence, when you do, they'll appreciate this to the moon and back because they themselves would probably never have done that themselves. And those who do admit things like this are the ones paving the way and shaping the futures of our generation. The ones with little to hide and not afraid to be judged. Think about it. I remember when Eminem admitted in the song Talking to Myself that he was envious of Kanye West and Lil Wayne, that he wanted to create a diss track at them just because he was envious of their shine at that point. Now, it takes a big person to admit this, and we all know Eminem is one of the greatest of all time, and it goes to show his deep feelings is appreciated by the world.
Please summarize your points.
Don't be afraid to confront your demons. Don't pretend it's okay when it's not. It's easier to let out your feelings than pretend it's all good. All that will do is eat you up and turn you into a vindictive person or a sadist. Just remember, people love to help, and they are more likely to do this because it also boosts their self-esteem and ego. So it's okay to admit jealousy, envy, but it's not okay to hate on them.
Please thank the listeners.
Thanks for listening, guys. As you know by now, the days ahead are never promised. So I always want to leave you with a quote to keep in mind, and some of my song recommendations I've been listening throughout the weeks, old or new, unknown or known. I discover new songs every week, or I go through playlists and a song resonates to me, and I just keep going. So, and I got my face as well, so that's just the way it is. But firstly, the quote I created for you this week is, if the demons inside you are burning, admit, confess, and keep on churning. Never too late. Don't hate. So for music wise, the song I recommend for you this week, I'm listening to Shea Butter by Ari Lennox and J. Cole. It's just an unbelievable track, unstoppable. Just the entrance the voice is magical, and J. Cole's flow is astonishing. And the other track is Whoa. I'm a super duper big fan of Snow Allegra. I like all her stuff now. My jam currently is Whoa from her stuff, but and I also recently found out she's half Swedish, and I don't know if she dates or dated Mike B. Jordan as well, something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, her whole storyline and even her nationalities makes her more intriguing in her stuff she's doing. So go check out their music. But I'm sure you like it. But I don't have the right to play their music, their songs, but you have the right to search them on your own. So yeah, make sure you go and check that out. So yeah, thanks for listening, ladies and gents, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you've been through the same experience or a similar experience, or this show has affected you, somehow, some way, let me know on Twitter or on Instagram. It's at Mike Versal. You can also keep up to date with the episodes announcements on Instagram and Twitter at the Unified Diaries Podcast. And also, I'll be giving you, some early access to new content soon in due. I'm working on some stuff. But as always, I got your back. If you liked, grab a mic and tell everyone it's Mike Versal
at the Unified Diaries Podcast.